Okay, it looks like we're going to do the 5-number summary and box plot for part 2 of this demonstration, our homework here. And that's really looking at this data, which reveals the number of pets students have at home. And we're going to, enter this data in the TI calculator. So it's really a TI demonstration. So pay attention to the procedure. And I'm going to enter all these data values. Okay, so we're going to go to the TI calculator. And we're going to very, very carefully, let me scroll in, enter these numbers. And let's see if I can scroll really in. Okay. And alrighty, let's see. Let's enter these data values here, okay? Looks okay, I guess. All right, from the homework, very carefully. A 2, enter. 1, 2 zeros. 4, 3, 0, 1, 5, 3, 5, 4, 1, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 2. Now we have 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3 zeros here. And that's followed by 1, 2, 3, and 4, 3, 5, 2, 6, 0. Okay, it looks like there were 31 data values here. And now what you want to do, since we're looking and we entered all of these data values here, okay? Everything you see here, that's the data we just entered the TI. Very carefully. Now we're going to sort the data from smallest to largest. Now we're going to use the sort key. So go back to the TI, and we're going to sort list 1. So we're going to go to stat, and this is not edit, it's sort. Sort A, number 2. Now we're going to have to put list 1. We want to put L1. So I want to focus on the blue L1. So I'm going to share with you here, go down. We'll scroll in. L1, first of all, it's shifted. It's in blue. It's in that lower corner where 1 is. Remember that. So I'm going to hit the second, followed by that 1 key, and I'm going to close the parentheses. I'm going to hit enter. Now it says we are done, and I'll share with you guys that as soon as I can, scroll down here for you guys. All right. There we go. So, okay, it's sorted. Now we're going to go back to the list. And first of all, we got to go to stat, calculate now one variable stats. It's listed there already. Yes, we want to do that for L1. Yes, we want to calculate. Okay, and so if you take a look at this, it has all the information we thought here and all the information that we need. Scroll down here, and you should be able to see all of that now. Okay. All right. So min, we need. Q1, we need. Median, we need. Q2, we need. And max, we need. So, okay, we're going to go back to the iPad now. And we're going to answer those questions. However, I think we're going to need some graph paper here. Anyway, let's go back to some graph paper and see if we can do that. Okay, that might be okay. So, all right. So for number 11, the 5-number summary, let's see what we have. The TI says what? Remember the definition. Minimum data value, first quartile, second quartile, third quartile, and the maximum value. So I think we used orange, can't remember, and green, and then I think we ended with gold. So this is a 5-number summary. If we go back to the iPad, this is what I'm writing down, the definition. Okay, this is what I was doing. And the TI is going to tell me the minimum data value. Okay, so let's go back and take a look. The minimum says it's 0. The first quartile is 0. The second quartile, which is also the middle, the median there, that's Q50. Remember that med? Third quartile is 3, and the maximum is 6. Okay, so this is just all by reading the TI, so you do have to be familiar with that. That's why you practice it. Gold, the green, and then finally this orange, I guess, green and gold there. So you're looking at the 5-number summary, you're looking at the minimum value, the first quartile value, the second quartile value, the third quartile, and the maximum value here. Okay, and so now the next question is, let's draw the box plot here. So the reason I put graph paper is because it's going to help with the spacing of the box plot. Notice we start with the minimum, Q1, Q2, Q3, and the maximum. So it always starts here. So I'm going to start here. This is where 0 is going to be. And I'm going to count by 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So, all right, kind of an interesting thing. We could have done some bigger, I guess, squares. But remember how this works. You draw these vertical lines for 0, for the minimum, and really for the maximum there, right? Min and max here. 0 and 6 with these lines here. Now, this is an interesting thing because my first quartile here is also there at 0. That's Q1 is at 0. Q2 is at 2 here, so this is Q2. Q3 is at 3. Okay? And so it's kind of a very weird thing where, remember, you have to draw the box here around Q1 and Q2 and Q3, the green portion. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to draw that straight line. Let's get the line here. Oops, too long. I guess we're going to draw a box. Let's draw the box. There we go. So it really looks like most of our data. Remember why we do this. This is 0, 2, 3. This is 6 here. We draw the box plot because it gives us an idea of the distribution. Okay? Meaning, remember, 25% of the data is here, 25% of the data is here, and we also have the remaining 25% of the data here. Now, this is kind of a bit interesting because the minimum is also the first quartile. And it's just by nature of the data here. Okay, so there is really below 25, this whole portion is 50%. To let you know that between between 0 and 2, that's really 50% of the data. That's the bottom 50%. So you guys know, let's make notation here. Bottom 50%, because the minimum is the same as the first quartile. So there's 50% or 25% between 0 and 50, and then 25% between 2 and 3, 25% between 3 and 6, for a total really of 100% of the data. Let's draw that line. And this gives you a good idea that most of the data, here's something we want to look at with a box plot. Most of the data is on the left. And when that data is on the left, we say the distribution is right skewed. It's like missing data on the right side. So they didn't ask that question, but I'm going to remark about it. This is why we draw box plots. So it's kind of an interesting thing. Let's go back to see what kind of questions are here and see if we can answer them. Okay. So the first question is determine the interquartile range. So the interquartile range, remember, is Q1 minus Q3, the interquartile range. So I'm going to cut that interquartile range. 13. Interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1. So I'm going to double color this, green and orange. So we know this is also Q1. And that's important here. So it'll be 3, because that's Q3, minus 1. Yeah. There's 0 there. 3 minus 0 there. Interquartile range will be 3. Okay. So that's 13. Let's see what 14 would be. 14, let's go back. The mid-quartile range. Mid-quartile range. So remember the definition of mid-quartile range. Q1 plus Q3 divided by 2. So let me do some more here coloring, and let's remind you guys, this will be, the Q2, and this will be Q3. So it'll be 0 plus 3 divided by 2 now. 0 plus 3 divided by 2. Now, I don't need my calculator for this. This will be 0 plus 3, which is 3. So the mid-quartile range will be 1.5 MQR. After the mid-quartile range, I remember 15 is the semi-quartile range. Okay, semi-quartile range, remember the definition. Q1, mid-quartile range. Right, so let me double check these questions and see if we're okay. We are. So, okay, semi-quartile range, if we recall, it's essentially half the interquartile range. So it's the interquartile range. Let's see if we can write this down. Divided by 2. So we have the interquartile range, which is 3. Right? It's right up in here. And so it's half. Divide that by 2. So we're going to take that number here, which is 3, And you'll divide that by 2, and it's also going to be 1.5. Okay. Let's see if we can get what I'm looking for there. All right, number 15. Good. Now, let's see what the question is for number 16 here. Determine the hours of sleep that are in the middle 50%. The middle 50% for number 16. The hours of sleep that represents that middle 15%. So, go back to the box plot. Remember, the middle 50% would be right in here. I know it's an odd question because the data is very right skewed, but that's going to be from 0 to 3 because that's the values of data. Remember, this is the 0 data value. This is the 3 data value. So that's the middle 50%. That's from 0 to 3. So we're going to answer that question, number 16, 0 to 3. Okay. There we go. That represents the middle 50%. 17, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go back to that question now. So 17 is asking, determine the number of hours of sleep that are in the top 50%. So we just got through doing this one, the middle 50. Now we want the top 25. I'm sorry, I misread that. Number 17, sorry. 17, the top 25%. All right, so go back to the box plot here. The top, that means it's to the right. It's not in the middle. So the top 25% is right here. That's the data values from 3 to 6. So the number of hours of sleep for the top 25%, that just means to the right, is from 3 to 6 hours. 3 to 6 hours. Okay, we're going to write that down. And remember, these are all in hours. Or hours. Okay. All right, number 18. Let's see what they want to know from number 18 now. Number 18, where are you? 5-number summary. Okay. Determine the number of hours of sleep for the bottom 75%. Bottom 75%. That's to the left. The left 75. The middle, remember, if they say top, think of right 25%. Bottom, that's to the left. Bottom 75%. And then that's question number 18. So bottom 75%. Let's go look at this here. And remember here, there's something odd about this, that really from 0 to 0, there's 25% of the data here. Okay? 25% of the data goes from 0 to 0, or 25% of the data is actually just the number 0. So you have that 25% with the middle. So you're saying, I'm going to take this 25% and the middle. Well, then that's from 0 to 3, because 25% here plus that 50% makes 75%. That's the left 75% of the data. We had a lot of zeros. So this is going to be from 0 to 3 now. 0 to the number 3 here. Okay? Because from 0 to 0 is 25%. It's kind of an interesting question. And we'll say from 0 to 3 hours. Okay, so there we go. Question 18. There was a lot of zeros in that data. You say, I don't believe you. Well, let's take a look at that sheet. Sure enough, 25%. A lot of zeros, if you guys can see those zeros there. Okay. All right, now we're going to go to the top 75%. They want to know the top 75%. They might as well ask us for the right, because to the top is to the right. Top 75% of the data. How many hours of sleep? Top 75%. So I'm going to go back to my box plot. Okay. Now to the right, I have what? 25, 25, 25. That's from 0 to 3. So this is the top. To the right, 75% from 0 to 3. Okay, be careful about this over here. Right, 0 to 0, there's 25%. This is a right skewed picture, so this is from 0 to 6. So number 19, 0 to 6 hours. All right, let's see what question number 20 is. Question 20. The bottom 25%. We know what that one is. I'm going to put that in purple again just to emphasize. They might as well just say, what's the left 25%? You guys know what that is. That's from 0 to 0. So with the box plot picture that we drew, that's from like 0 to 0. This is what we're talking about right here. I'm going to just change the color. That's to the left. That's the bottom 25%. And you say, why, Mr. Judge? Because right in here, right, from the minimum value to the first quartile, you went from 0 to 0. Excuse me. 0 to 0. And it looks like that's question number 20. I'm going to keep it in purple. 0 to 0 hours, the bottom 25%, ladies and gentlemen. And so it looks like that concludes, because I think there was only 20 questions on that sheet. Yeah, only 20. That concludes the demonstration of this extremely right-skewed data scenario. Looks like there's a lot of people just, well, that's not sleep hours. I apologize. That's the number of pets. Looks like there's a lot of people that don't have pets. So this was actually a pet question. I apologize. It's only a holiday, and I haven't had my coffee. All right. Thank you guys so much for this demonstration.